Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, July 11th, 2024. So, on a day that needs no introduction, other than to say it's Thursday, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And how did you find the crossword?
Well, I did it with our youngest, who is home for the week.
Okay.
And so it was great fun. I always enjoy doing the crossword with him. Because being of two different generations, we get it done a lot faster because we know the trivia and pop culture from two different perspectives there. So that's always great, but
Right.
It's just fun to do it together with him. So very enjoyable experience.
Was there a lot of trivia that he knew that you didn't?
Not so much trivia, but, well, I mean, like he knew the Hunger Games partner was PEETA.
21 across, PEETA?
Yes, I did not know that. And he knew 54 across, Samsung competitor Nokia. So, yeah, there were a few things he knew. But I knew 27 across, Norton's Fight Club co-star was Brad Pitt. So yeah.
Yeah, I knew none of those.
No.
But I was able to sort of figure them out through the crosses. One thing I most decidedly did not know was how to spell. I had a lot of spelling problems in this puzzle. 47 down, that being Chinese. Sorry, let me try that one more time. Counting devices of old, and that was abaci.
That's correct.
Spelled ABACI.
Right.
I so much wanted to put. I guess abacus really is ABACUS.
That's
but
correct.
I was tempted at first. I wanted to plural, have two B's in it. Then I wanted to have two C's in it. And then, of course, I had to get it to fit. So it's just like, well, I'm going to have to jettison this extra B and C, but one of them ought to be there, but apparently not.
Nope.
And then that crossed 52 down, musicians of the Middle Ages. And the answer to that was troubadours.
52 across.
I'm sorry, 52 across, yes.
Yeah.
And the answer was troubadours.
Right.
And I was like, doors, DOORS.
Oh, no.
And then I thought DORES. And it took me a very long time to come up with DOURS.
Yep, that's the correct spelling.
That just looks wrong.
Oh,
sort of like shyest did for me the other day with an I. But I guess that's right. It must be French, right?
Troubadours?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I bet it is. It's got sort of a French feel to it. Les troubadours. Anyway, so I had trouble in that area with spelling. But the theme was certainly interesting.
Yes, it was.
You want to talk about the theme?
Okay. We've actually seen this theme before.
Gasp.
Where, you essentially have to, in order to answer a clue, you have to go off the grid, so to speak, and pick up a few letters either above or below, and then come back down into your line and finish them off. So anyway, that's what we had for the Thursday gimmick. The revealer clue was right in the middle. 33 across, and it was a minor setback or a hint to entering the themed clues, and the answer to that was bump in the road.
Yes.
Okay, so the variation of the, leaving the line to pick up other letters in this case was that each of the answers in the themed clues had ROAD in them. The first one was 16 across, which was 2011 Margaret Thatcher biopic, which was The Iron Lady. But the N and the L were transposed up a line, and then you were left with the R from RO from iron and AD from lady. And so in order to answer this question, you had to put in the, and then IRO, and then you had to go up, and that's where the N and the L were, and they were in shaded squares. And then you go down from the L and get the ADY at the end. So you have You had 4 clues. Above each of the answers for those clues were shaded squares, and you had to fill in those shaded squares with part of the answer for the themed clue.
Right.
Now, if you filled in the shaded squares with the answer that was on that particular line, on the line where you saw the shaded squares, it should have, and you've answered it correctly, it should have fit for the themed clue as well. For example, we were saying one thing that our youngest got that I didn't was 21 across, Katniss partner in the Hunger Games, PEETA. Well, the P and the E of PEETA were shaded squares. So the one below it, which was a themed clue, was defense boxing strategy.
Defensive boxing strategy, right?
Defensive boxing strategy, yeah. And the answer to that was rope-a-dope. But you had to put in R-O, and the O was under the P in PEETA. So you had R-O and then the P-E of PEETA. And then from the E, you go down and you had A-D-O-P-E. So rope, dope. But the 4 letters under the bump in the road, or the P-E of PEETA, were R-O-A-D, road. So bump in the road.
Right. Yes. In all of the themed clues, when you took the 2 letters and extracted them and put them in the row above, what you were left with in the original clue was the word road.
That's right.
Yeah. So that happened instead of the I. And when you read across in 16 across, you had the I roadie, but you had the NL above the OA. So
that's right.
And the same for like
rope-a-dope. You had road-ope. But it was rope-a-dope if you added in the PE from PETA.
I think I figured it out in The Iron Lady. I think that was the one where I got it. And then we also had 44 across. St. Petersburg once was Petrograd, but you wrote out in the answers for 40 in the squares for 44 Petro. Petro, and then the GR hopped up into the line above, and then you came down for the AD. So you had Pet Road with a GR above it.
That's right. And then the last one was the Troubadours.
Yes, where I had my spelling difficulties.
You had the TRO, then you had to jump up for the UB, and then you had to go back down for the AD. So there was your road, and then doors, DOURS.
Yes.
You already referenced. So anyway, that was the theme. And as I said, we've had puzzles where you've had to jump up and grab a few letters above in order to answer. But in this case, when you jumped up, the 4 letters below the letters you had to jump up to get were always road.
Yeah.
So that kind of made it unique. And certainly went along with the revealer bump in the road.
Yes. I found this to be a pretty hard crossword.
Yeah, it was a challenge.
You probably, your time certainly won't reflect it because you had...
We had two minds working on it,
right.
Yes.
In my case, I had half. And so it was... once I got the theme figured out, that helped. But there were just a few places where I was sort of flailing around. And 41 down, I was basically naticked with troubadours because 41 down, intense aversions was odiums.
Odiums, yes. That was kind of a different word.
Right. And
don't use that too often.
It's got to be related to the word odious.
Right.
But I didn't catch it at the time because I was spelling it as O-D-I-O-M-S. And it was just like, is it supposed to be idioms? Maybe but apparently it's odioms. So I didn't know what to do with it because, again, I spelled doors like I heard it in my mind. So
one word that we had to skip and then come back and try to figure out what it was 22 across. Professions of vowels.
Yes.
Spelled with an A.
Right.
A-V-O-W-A-L-S, not E-L-S.
Right, because because you avow something, yes.
Right.
I know it looked strange to see that word written out, but I mean, I guess I've seen the word avowal, but not avowals.
Right.
That A, the second A in avowals formed the start of 23 down off kilter, which was alop.
Yes, that too was a different kind of word.
I was so certain it was going to be well, I wanted it first to be askew, which of course wouldn't fit.
Sure.
Then I thought maybe awry, awry, but it was alop.
Yes.
We have to come back and maybe investigate that word a little bit. Just want to point out parenthetically, 30 down, that was, let's see here, some fall babies. The answer was Libras. And yesterday we had Libro, the Spanish
Libro,
for book.
yeah.
So we had Libro, and today we have Libras.
That's right.
I sort of thought that was curious.
One down, our youngest got right away. I would never have thought of it, but one down. Kind of projection. Astral. Mm-hmm. He got that right away. I'm like, huh?
I had a couple of letters that I might have had the S, and I think I had the S and the T, and so projection, astral, it came pretty readily to me as well.
He had nothing.
Oh, really?
He had 5 blank squares.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I think it's astral.
That's impressive. 3 down, court figure for short, stenog.
Oh, yes.
Do they ever really call them stenogs as opposed to stenos?
I've never heard that, stenog, but...
I don't hang around in courtrooms a lot, so I really wouldn't know. But just that...
I would think that a stenographer would not like to be called a stenog.
Yeah, there's just something...
Steno, that makes sense. But
yeah,
stenog...
You might
as well call him stenographer.
Well, and it just sounds somehow rude. I'm not quite sure what it is about stenog that sounds unappealing, but there is something there.
Right.
4 down, I was glad to see my namesake showing up in the New York Times. Trade from which John Jacob Astor made his fortune, and that was fur.
That's correct.
So listeners, you should know that we once went to a Titanic exhibit. We were all given tickets representing who we were on board, and I got the John Jacob Astor ticket.
Yes.
So I've considered myself extremely wealthy from that point on, except I probably would just sell fake furs.
No, and you didn't survive the Titanic.
I did die. That's one of the disadvantages, but apparently money can't buy you. Well, I think he was like one of many people who volunteered his spot to somebody else.
Yeah, I think he was.
After you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I was like some maid, and I survived.
Really?
Yep. I got in one of those lifeboats.
Good move.
So.
Let's see. We had 15 across. Disapproving sound was cluck. I like that.
Oh, yes. That took us a while.
And 15 down, it can help you get a grip. I had CL, and it's like, well, it has to be clamp. Until it wasn't. It was cleat.
Cleat, yes.
And that's interesting because, I think about a grip as something you do with your hands, not something that you do with your shoes.
Right.
So that was...
But they do put cleats on them for that reason.
Yes, indeed.
Grip the ground.
We had 20 across. I thought this was quite good. Player 1, ? Soloist.
Yes.
Sort of leveraging that movie. Let's see. A tape, a clue that I don't think would resonate among some of the generations working on this crossword. Bad thing to be caught on tape.
Yes.
I mean, no one records on tape anymore, I don't think.
I know. I got that one, though, right away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Farthermost point was the tip. It took me longer than it should have. Mm. I guess because I'm not thinking in terms of it being the tip of something else.
Which one was that?
That was 36 down. The farthermost point.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
I think about the tip as something comes to a point, and that's the tip. Mm-hmm. But in terms of just being a distance away, it doesn't suggest that it's converging to anything. So in any event, I got it through the crosses, but it just felt a little off. Oh, 40 across. I just heard this. Q. Why don't scientists trust blank? A, because they make up everything. And the answer was atoms.
That's right.
Every morning, and actually, in fact, every day, several times, I ask Siri for a joke. And that morning, that was the joke that Siri gave me.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. I remembered that. It's just like, it's the joke. It's returned. I know. Talk about luck. The one underneath that, 46 down, yeah, don't do that. Was bad idea.
Right. I like that one.
Let's see. We had 46 46 down. That being channel guides. And considering we just took an excursion to Door County, highly recommended, folks. The answer of boys, or buoys, depending on how you want to pronounce that, came readily to me.
Me too.
So, let's see. What else? 34 down. Have you ever done... Let's see. First of all, let's discuss the clue. A certain calligraphy mark, 34 down, was upstroke.
Yes.
Have you ever done calligraphy?
I have, yes.
Were you familiar with the term upstroke?
Yeah.
You were?
I was. I didn't think of it right away, but yeah.
Does that mean what I think it means? Just draw upwards on the page?
Yeah. But, you have to hold your pen in a certain way in order to make the type of stroke you want it to.
But an upstroke is just a line going up?
Going up, yeah.
Does it do anything special? Like, does it get thinner?
No. Well, depending on how you hold your pen.
Okay. Well, I'm right after this podcast, I'm going to take up calligraphy.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Good luck.
So, thank you very much. All right. Well, I think that's probably it for the crossword. A fine crossword, a debut by Matt Sheldon.
Oh, really?
So, well done, Matt.
Yes, well done, Matt.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hope you didn't have too many bumps in the road as you were working on this crossword. All right, that is it for today then. So thanks everyone for listening. We hope you're enjoying these podcasts. Let us know. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com or click on the fan mail link in the show notes. And we will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of Friday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.